Hi guys, this is video number 4. Remember last time I talked about two stories. The first one is that the FEMA in Florida did a bad job in forecasting designated hurricane area. It ended up like 78% of the actual loss due to hurricane happens outside the FEMA area. That's bad news. But here I want to emphasize one point. If the hurricane is hard to predict accurately, then wildfire is even harder because remember that the hurricane is naturally mostly Mother Nature. That's the job. Okay, wildfire on the other hand can be Mother Nature, but also can be human sources. Right? Remember, technically we could have a barbecue and it caused a big wildfire, right? And it could have like a utility lines. Remember the PG&E ended up paying a lot of money for causing the wildfire. We also have arsenic. Those kind of things make it even harder to predict. The next story that I last time I talked about is that about the household, the big household with the grandkids and the kids and grandkids. The head of the household is 81 years old, and she didn't have a home insurance. And when this year boomed, the entire home is destroyed. So she ended up going to GoFundMe.com to asking for support. It's a very sad story. Okay, so, but here it's not unusual because when we think about this, we always have two kinds of two subpopulations. One is that high risk people, like these families in the area surrounded by the forest, by the trees in the canyon, and then so those one thing. Another group of people is the kind of a low risk. So the issue about insurance is how to dealing with this, how to deal with this high risk individuals and the families and entities. It's a big issue, number one issue. So here we might as well just go back to learn something from health insurance. I always want to, I like to watch the Discover, I like to watch the National Geography, and you see those animals, whether it's elephant or lions, and one of them is dying, the other lions or elephant, they can't really do anything. Why? Because that's beyond their capability. They can't really do anything other than staying with the people, with the animals who's dying, right? But we are humans. We are capable of doing more to help the other peoples. That makes us different from this one. So think of this. We all know that a few people, a small group of people, may cause a lot of loss, and then while the rest of people they have a small loss. So what do we do with it? How do we help them? Right? If we are not animals, we can't just leave them alone, let them die, let them suffer without doing anything. We are capable of doing something. So here is the issue. The other day, I was reading a good article that's written in 2017. It's written by American Academy of Actuaries. Actuaries, a bunch of the number crunchers calculate the risk and how to cover it, right? They're the one behind the insurance companies. So anyway, so this issue note talk about the three options for handling the high risk individuals. First one is separate risk pool, meaning that if anybody with pre-existing conditions, like you have a diabetes, you have cancers, you have a heart conditions, we put them separate into different risk pool. And then when their claim, the amount of claim is too big, then we try to anything above a certain threshold, we cover them. We give them a reimbursement so those people can survive. So that is one approach. The second approach is like high risk uh, risk pool. They're not in the separate risk. They are put in the same risk as everybody else. So in other words, high risk and low risk, they are put in together in the same pool, right? So in that case, how do you handle this? The actual cost associated with the high risk. We basically ended up, doing the same thing. If this claim is above a certain level, we just cover them, reimburse them. So the reason that I would mention this is that before Obamacare, before Affordable Care Act, ACA, basically Obamacare get into effect in 2014. Before that, we had 35 states all have the separate high risk pool. In other words, the people they are in the separate pool, very much like a fair plan for the home insurance, right? The high risk people they are entered into a separate pool and away from everybody else, low risk people. Here's the number that in 2011, before Obamacare, right, there was like 216,000 people with pre-existing conditions. They are costing about billions of dollars, maybe I forgot the figures, but it cost extra money, right, because to cover those high-risk people. Now, after Obamacare 2014, Obamacare did two things. Number one, mandatory coverage, meaning that no insurance company can reject, can deny your coverage just because you have a pre-existing conditions. Number two, it's like number two is even more generic, dramatic, if you will. The Obamacare says that you cannot charge extra money just because you have a diabetes, just because you have heart conditions. You can't do that. No. Okay. So those are two way to handle that. Now the question is, what is the secret? How the Obamacare to take care of the actual people with the actual risk? Simple. They keep the risk pool big. With the big pool, you basically low risk people, you ended up, subsidize the people with high risk. It's kind of a socialism, right? But on the other hand, we could say we look at the issue from like a humanity issue. We don't want to other people die just because they have some pre-existing conditions. We want to take care of them one way or the other, right? Even if that means that we raised a little bit of premium. So that's why if you deal with the Obamacare, you can see that the ordinary people, low risk people, their premium is actually high. So that's why I'm talking about this in home insurance. We should follow this. We should learn the one page or two from the healthcare to let the people to expand to or to at least to keep the same risk pool. Dropping those high risk household homes, it's not the right way to do it. We have to keep it because the bigger the pool, right? The more money that we can collect from a premium, and then that will keep the entire insurance program floating. So this is what I'm going to talk about. This next time we'll talk more.